Hey, you're listening to Wrestling Roundup on FreeFM 89.0. As always, I'm Grady Hooker, and live on Skype we got Josh.
Hey.
We're going to start off with Raw, and then after the song we'll jump into Battleground preview. On Raw we got Miz and the Miz-Taraj. They're taking out Ambrose and Rollins. Reigns out of the picture for now.
I kind of saw a preview of this the night before.
Well, I mean, this is where we just sit back for 10 minutes and listen to Josh talk about his live event experience.
Yeah, I got to watch Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel face Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose at the event. I didn't get to see a male singles title.
Yeah, one of them.
I didn't get to see any male singles title.
Oh yeah, yep. I guess it's just the Miz, obviously, at the moment, it's more his character to do it, but that's got to be something that it's on their mind, when they go to a live event, they don't get to see the World Championship of this brand, whether it's Universal or World, doesn't really matter. But I have a feeling WWE has grown beyond that it doesn't really matter for ticket sales or for fans or anything like that. It'd be cool to see it, but I don't think it's going to affect their bottom line, whether they have it or not. Even though it would be better to have a champion that's on the live event circuit and defending the title.
Well, I'd say with having Cena there, that they really didn't need the world champion.
True. Next up, Big Cass, still looking to be the biggest big, the better big. I'm running out of pronouns here.
The biggest, baddest dude on the block.
There we go. And he's making a pretty good show of it too.
Yeah.
Pretty much anybody who can go toe to toe with the Big Show is up there in terms of what they can do. It seems as though him and Enzo are still going for a little while, delaying the end of that feud for a little bit, I guess. Just giving both men a little bit of room to breathe before going out into the big wild yonder on their own. Titus O'Neil, Titus Brand, Titus Worldwide, he decided to abruptly end the match for one of his... What are they? They're not his employees, his brand members. Either way, he threw in the towel. Akira Tozawa loses by match ending.
Yeah, that was interesting, I suppose. I thought it was really interesting that at the Raw event the night before, he came out for Apollo Crews' match, but did not come out for Akira Tozawa's. And yet they had done some promotional stuff earlier in the day with Akira Tozawa.
Yeah, I don't know. This was also notable, maybe not this match, I don't know which one came first, for mentioning the fact that the Cruiserweights didn't get their purple ropes this week on Raw.
Yeah, they didn't bother changing them at the live event either.
Which a lot of people, I guess, are signaling that this is a sign of things to come for the Cruiserweight division. Still seem to be a little split on whether that's a sign of things to come in terms of them dissolving, being more integrated into the Raw brand, or what, but it seemed as though the Cruiserweights were just starting to get storylines.
Or it could just be that the first match was only 2 minutes long, the second match was 3 minutes long, and they didn't want to bother changing the ropes for that length of time.
It would probably take them longer than those match links to put the tape on. It doesn't look like an easy process to put that tape on and off all the time.
Actually, from what I understand, they actually changed the ropes completely out.
Oh. That seems... I don't know, which would be easier? It would be I feel like that's one of the fun things going to a live event that you potentially could have seen if they were doing the ropes still. If they were even doing them for live events. I also doubt they did that. I'm realizing this is stupid now. I'm going to move on to I'm going to skip over that. I'm going to leave the big until last. The Revival defeating the Hardy Boys. This is the feud we're going forward. Not yet broken.
Nope.
It's going to take just a little bit more to break them.
Yeah. A shattered machine or two should do the job. Maybe call them the Shattered Hardys instead of the Broken Ones, just to get them around that little gimmick hurdle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's definitely that possibility. I see SummerSlam coming up. Presumably, if these two are feuding now, they're going to be feuding up until SummerSlam. Also, seems like a big place to do it if you are going to break them. So I'll put SummerSlam down. I know last week I was a little hesitant to pick a date that I thought they'd be broken. I'll put SummerSlam down on the paper in pencil, so I can erase it out quickly if I'm wrong. Braun Strowman, as expected, interrupts Reigns and Joe.
And the referee runs for the hills.
Do you blame him?
Not at all.
God, I already would have been in the hills as soon as that music hit. It's like, boom, first note, let's go. Just get out of there. Match is over, done, let's leave. Strowman is terrifying. Did you...
Yeah, people were like, well, he touched Joe first. Wouldn't Joe be win by disqualification? I'm like, the referee was running for the hills. He saw nothing.
Yeah. I'm assuming with the interference here, fatal 4-way. You know,
I don't know.
You still got two singles
really
matches, I guess. I feel like the opportunity for a triple threat has slowly waned out.
It's possible. I don't know. Kurt Angle said that he would have a more figured out by Raw next week.
Well, Kurt Angle was a little busy, wasn't he?
Yeah. Yep, promoting his son.
I don't know what to expect.
And nobody's surprised, it was Jason Jordan.
I'll just give him a little bit of a clap. I think, you know, people were always leaning that way, you know, when we were discussing it. It was like, probably this is exactly what the announcement's going to be, and then it happens, but it's still a little fun of a moment for it to happen. And just be like, okay, well, now Jason Jordan in storyline is Kurt Angle's son. And we're going to have to live with that.
And he's on Raw now.
And Chad Gable didn't know. That's half the funniest bits, was just seeing Chad Gable react to it. But as for Jason Jordan's future, I'm going to imagine it's quite bright from here.
I have heard possibly a Drew McIntyre type of push when Drew was originally brought in as the chosen one.
So ultimately fail, capture the Intercontinental Championship, do nothing, flop, leave to the Indies, and come back to NXT. Oh, I missed the 3MB in there. Sorry. It's an important piece to mention. I see the sentiment, though. I can definitely see all sorts of good things happening in Jason Jordan's future. From the singles matches on SmackDown, I'm hoping the same for Chad. Just fingers crossed it works out for both of them. A lot of time we see things like... Not really things like this. It's really the wrong phrase to use there. We see tag teams split up and both head out into singles feuds or singles careers, both trying to still be the happy-go-lucky good. I guess he gets this little bit of Kurt Angle rubbed in on his character, but it doesn't look like either of them are getting major character changes. So we've got to see what's going to happen with them in terms of who's going to succeed. Hopefully both.
Yep, there's always the question, who will be the Shawn Michaels and who will be the Marty Jannetty?
And in fact, sometimes we just have entire feuds based around who's going to be the Marty Jannetty.
Yeah, and then you have situations like the Miz and Morrison where everybody expects one person to be the Marty Jannetty, and the other person turned out to be the Marty Jannetty.
Yeah, there's always the the chance it'll go the way it doesn't expect. With these two, I'm assuming a lot of people looked at it just because it took so long to Jason Jordan to find his niche. That Chad was going to be the one. He seemed to be the one who grabbed Jason in NXT and sort of propelled him up with the tag team and sort of made him something people wanted to watch again. So I think most people expected Chaddy Boy to be doing a little bit better, and then Jason Jordan gets handpicked as Kurt Angle's son, and we'll see how that storyline leads them.
Yeah, it definitely could not have been Chad Gable, especially when he mentioned that this occurred in college.
Anything's possible. But we'll move on. We've got a lot to talk about after the song. So we'll go to the song. It is Goldust's theme. Because Goldust is awesome. One more run. One more good run.
I got to see him in person, so I'm happy. before he saunters off.
Back with the Wrestling Roundup, FreeFM 9.0, Grady and Josh. We're on the SmackDown side of things now. A couple things to mention before we get to Battlegrounds. The Fashion Files, again, switching, not even genres at this point, just switching parody shows.
Yeah, well, they previewed it last week that they were going to do the X-Files this week, in case you weren't paying attention.
It feels as though the barrel is starting to be emptied.
Yeah, they're... Whatever this is coming to, I'm hoping that there's a major playoff for it on Sunday, which is when our next action is supposed to be. I want to say, I'm hoping that it brings sanity to SmackDown.
Okay.
That's who I'm hoping this is all revealed around.
I have a much more comedy expectation. I fully expect it to be revealed as Tyler Breeze, doing it purely so him and Fandango can spend more time together and have fun. And I am not going to be surprised if that's what happens.
That would definitely see that as a possibility. Of course, I'd also like to see it be the Surfer Dudes with attitudes.
You thought it was us, the Ascension, but no. It's the Surf Dudes with attitudes. That'd be a great way to introduce the gimmick. But alas, with every good thing, there's also a not so good thing. Talking Smack is no more.
Nope, and there may be karma involved with the canceling of that, with Shane McMahon crashing to the ocean.
I need to precede that immediately by both him and the pilot are fine.
Yes, they're fine. They're fine. Just they crashed into the emergency crash landing into the ocean.
Stuff happens. That's all I can say. I have a feeling it's not karmic intervention and has nothing to do with Talking Smack being cancelled, and is purely a coincidence, unless his limo explodes when he tries to get into it next time. Battleground, kickoff match. We got Ty Dillinger, Aiden English. There's no predictions here.
No, just like, where did this come from?
Yeah. It's a match.
I guess I'll go
build.
with Ty because they're not doing anything with Aiden English. So
it's the classic kickoff match with no build, no consequence. Good guy walks out the winner. Ty Dillinger wins easy. Singles match. Sami Zayn gets a rematch against Mike Kanellis.
Ed still loses.
Sami Zayn just can't catch a break.
No.
All of this over a whole bunch of misunderstandings. But yeah, I definitely see Sami losing here. I think Mike just gets a little bit of a bolster from His debut was on his pay-per-view debut. Let's put it that way. And they can continue on with their little gimmick. And Sammy is the ultimate guy who you can just tag with. This guy can lose a feud, and fans are still gonna believe him as a contender for anything, and they're still gonna cheer him. It doesn't matter how badly. You can bury him 60 feet under the ground, and people are still gonna cheer him. Singles match: Shinsuke Nakamura, Baron Corbin. Who needs the win more?
This will be a really, really good match. I think this feud is going to last longer than one match. So I'm going with Shinsuke Nakamura to win here, and Baron Corbin to get the win back at SummerSlam when his briefcase is on the line.
Okay. It definitely seems as though in the past, when you're trying to compare it to this sort of stuff, the Mr. Money in the Bank always takes the loss. Not very often does Mr. Money in the Bank get portrayed as a super strong character straight after winning it, especially when it's a heel. So I'm definitely not going to be surprised if Baron takes the loss. Shinsuke's still coming in hot, as always. As you said, probably going to go a little bit longer. I don't know about briefcase on the line. I know I wanted that a lot a couple of years ago. We'll see what happens here. But I'm also going to take Shinsuke.
Yeah, it's possible, though. This may be a one-offer, and Shinsuke gets the win, so that way he has momentum heading into a United States title match with the United States champion.
Yeah, AJ Styles obviously picking up the title at MSG, going to be defending it against Kevin Owens, but there's been a lot of Shinsuke Styles hinting, back and forthing. I don't even know what to call it. They're laying the seeds.
It is very possible that match may happen at SummerSlam. It's also possible they may hold off onto it until WrestleMania. Either one would be fine. So I don't really care which, as long as we get the match. That's all I care about.
Yep. We'll have to wait and see. With the United States Championship match, AJ Styles, as we said, defending against Kevin Owens. I'm going to imagine AJ keeps a hold of it. Seems like a foregone conclusion. But I'm also, as always, recently with the WWE and a lot of their title matches, wouldn't be surprised if Kevin Owens picked it back up. But do expect AJ to walk out the winner. We have a flag match, everybody's favourite gimmick match, John Cena versus Rusev, and Rusev got the upper hand on the Go Home show, so we're gonna just raise John Cena's hand now.
Yeah, this is actually going to be a traditional flag match, unlike the last one, where it was just a regular match and then they dropped the flag at the end.
We're actually playing by the rules this time.
Yeah. Yep, you gotta get your flag and plant it at the finish line.
Makes sense. But here's the things going for John Cena. He's John Cena. His opponent is Rusev. He's hot, coming straight back from some time off. Rusev had the upper hand on the go home. He's John Cena. Does anybody not expect Cena to win here?
I think 5 people on the internet said yes. And that's about it.
5-way elimination match. Number 1 contendership, SmackDown Women's Championship. Charlotte, Becky, Natalya, Tamina, Lana, everybody but Miss Money in the Bank and the champion herself.
I have my hands clasped together because I'm hoping that it's Tamina.
You've been hoping for weeks, and I still don't believe it. We'll see. Tamina, as I said, one of the 3 obvious names that could make sense here, but it's Tamina. Never really got much.
Yeah, well, it's either Tamina or Lana again. Because they're the only heels in the match.
Wasn't Charlotte and Natalya having a feud?
Yeah.
Surely that
and
meant
then you
one
have
of them.
Becky that's just
She's Becky.
But yeah, they're feuding with each other though.
True.
Becky is Becky, and she's a face.
Yeah.
Naomi's a face. It's unlikely they'll face each other. If Becky does win, then that means that Naomi's not leaving the show with the championship.
Which would be really weird, cashing in on someone who didn't have a match, I guess, unless she runs her over with a car out back and then cashes in.
Well, Naomi did say she would come out and congratulate the winner of the match.
True. Something could happen.
So yeah, something could happen to Naomi. But yeah.
So you're still picking Tamina?
I'm still picking Tamina, but I could definitely see Becky winning and then we having a new champion.
Okay. Tag Team Championships. Usos New Day, again. Will the New Day finally capture them?
I will go yes.
Finally? You think they're going to do it this time?
Yeah, I think they will. And then on Tuesday they'll debut their special championships.
The special championships that were designed ages ago and put into the WWE shop yesterday?
Yeah.
It's convenient, isn't it?
Yep. That was modeled off by what's her name? Charlie.
It's just too damn convenient for the belts have existed. I feel like we saw a glimpse of them at WrestleMania, or maybe it was a WWE 24 or something. But them being placed on the WWE shop online does definitely hint towards them holding them and bringing them onto television. So I'm definitely with you here in the New Day selection. It's just the one that makes sense. So now, main event, Randy Orton, Jinder Mahal, WWE Championships on the line, Punjabi prison match. You want to remind us of the rules here for a Punjabi prison match?
Well, they explained them on SmackDown that the gates to the inner section can only be opened once. They'll stay open for 60 seconds, at which point, because they can be commanded to be raised by any superstar at any point. Once that 60 seconds is over, they cannot be opened again, and the only way to win the match is to escape both structures.
So someone's staying in and somebody's getting out, right?
Yeah.
It's really the only point, I guess, to the 60-second raising rule is to trap one person in. I guess you can have an Indiana Jones type bit where one of them's running for the door that's closing, just slide under it and be like, boom, we made it. A little dangerous, but just blunt it and you could probably only break a few ribs, it'll be fine.
Yeah. Or to create a situation where they have to climb over both sets of structures in order to escape.
If we had like a cruiserweight type or someone who's very very jumpy and flippy, I'd say that they'd climb the first one and jump to the second one. But alas, that is not really the types of wrestlers that we have in this match.
No, but at least we don't have big lumbering oafs like in the last two.
Yep.
I always do respect the Big Show. Big Show's been plenty of athletic in his past. When he was in this match, he was not that athletic at the time. And then of course Kali's Kali, and that's that.
We just don't mention that Kali was ever a thing. Who's walking out the champ? Who's heading? Assumably, who's heading into SummerSlam as the WWE champion?
I'm gonna with Jinder Mahal.
Who will he face at SummerSlam?
John Cena.
Dun 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 dun. You can see that from goddamn 6 miles away. Or maybe Randy wins and we get John Cena Randy again. Who knows? But When I say who knows, what I really mean is Jinder's winning. Deal with it. Do we have to spin up the bomb shelter to get away from the internet again, or have they finally resigned to the fact that Jinder's going to hold this championship for a little while?
I really don't know. And honestly, I don't care at this point.
Because when he first won it, and then when he defended it again, bomb shelters were definitely required. We'll see what happens this time. Maybe they're not. Maybe. Radio, well, that's all we got time for. We'll get to the results next week. It's been great talking to you.
Maybe.
You can visit our Facebook page, facebook.com/Wrestling Roundup Radio, Twitter page, twitter.com/Wrestling Radio, and we'll see you next week.